Skinny Hardaway 17, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, greatly appreciate you sliding through. Just want to come and rap with y'all real quick this morning. Gonna be here no longer than about 15, 30 minutes, right? Well, we gonna try. No longer than 1 hour for sure. We gonna try to be about 15, 30 minutes. Want to go through some of the best I like for this weekend. Alba Ramirez KO. It did not slide through last night. Ramirez actually probably lost the fight. Ended up getting a split decision win. I ain't gonna lie to you. Even as a guy who picked Ramirez to win the fight, and he won it, but I'm really not sure if you know he didn't get robbed. If I'm just being perfectly honest with you, you know what I mean. So Ramirez did win, but he did not get the KO. All right, so I missed that one. Right. We gonna make it we gonna turn this thing around though. We gonna make it do what it do for uh today, this weekend. This is basically my weekend guide. In my mind, this wanna be my weekend guide. May having to end up do this again. I may end up having to do this again, right? But I really just wanna tell y'all what I like for the weekend. Millie Mill. What's good, Millie Mill? Shout out my girl Millie. Appreciate you sliding through. If y'all could tap that thumbs up for your boy. If y'all could tap that low thumbs up for your boy. Shout out my girl. But I digress. I digress. But I digress. I digress. So Ramirez laid the egg for us last night, but we go get it right. We go get it back. Okay. Appreciate you, Millie. Appreciate you, Millie Meal. But yeah, we go get it back this weekend. You know, I'm going out of town next Friday, man. So we gotta make it count, man. We need all hits, no misses. You know what I mean? From here on out, man. Ramirez fucked it up last night. All hits, no misses from here on out. Right. Let's start with the NBA game. Right. This could very well end up being the only NBA string, right? Because the game is today. So let's really get into it. Let's really look into it. Let's really talk about because we're about winning money, right? It's one thing to, say this team go in, say that team go in, right? But my goal is to actually get you some bread off it, right? Because what fun is it, picking the right winners, right? And then that's it. We just go on about it because you only get to win that one day, right? When you betting and you gambling, you know that. I got a saying. I always like to say, man, you can't win money. You can't win money off yesterday. You can't win money off yesterday, right? So let's focus on today. You know what I mean? And today we got Knicks versus Spurs game two, right? Now I picked the Spurs to win game one. They got it wrong. But I also said if the Knicks were actually even going to stand a chance in this series, they would have to get game one. And they did. Jalen Brunson, he basically took over the game, right? He basically took over the game, did Jalen Brunson. Basically took over the game right there. But that when it was time to deliver, Jalen Brunson uh delivered. Takia, what's good? What's good, Takia? Appreciate you sliding through. If you could hit that thumbs up for your boy. Great appreciate you sliding through. Shout out my girl, Ty. But Jalen Brunson stepped up. He came through late. I thought defensively, right? Defensively, they actually played great. If you look at the game in its totality, right, across 4 quarters, it was pretty low scoring game. The under hit as well, right? So the Spurs lost, but the under hit, right? Jalen Brunson 3 pointers went under, right? So it wasn't a terrible day. We went 3-3 on the day. We had three right, three wrong. I'm not the kind of guy who go celebrate off getting, one right, two right. I really want to get all of them right. That's when I celebrate. Uh, you know what I mean? But we went 3-3, and on the first slate, this slate we gonna try to sweep it, right? We gonna try to go undefeated. We gonna try to get everything right. Uh, go try to get everything right, right? So I came on and I told y'all the other day that betting wise, right? The Knicks are still the underdog in the series. BC, what's good, BC? They're pricing the Spurs very high, right? There's almost no value on the Spurs, right? So it's kind of like only valuable to take the Knicks. The Knicks are at +6.5 right now, right? So the spread was 5.5 is 6.5 now. So now we're getting 6.5 with the Knicks. I feel like I feel like the best thing to do with that, like as far as value wise, is to go. We talk about bets over here, right? Not necessarily who I think go win and who I think go lose, because who I actually think go win the game is different from the bet, right? That I will be placing. Hopefully, the Knicks. If the Knicks get down 15 in this game, right? Because they did get down 15 in that game one. Hopefully they don't get down 15 and then they just get complacent and be like, well, okay, we're gonna we're going to shut it down. We're going to shut it down and we'll just get it, the game on the road. Right. So I'm thinking Knicks 6.5 to cover that spread. Right. And you could do either or. But I do think the Spurs win, you know what I mean? The game outright. Right. So I do think the Knicks cover the 6.5. But I am taking the Spurs to win. The Spurs are technically they're in the must win game, right? Because you don't want to go down 0-2, right? You don't want to go down 0-2 headed into the Garden, because the Spurs are a little more tired. I think these games are going to come down to certain defensive stops. Right. So whichever team makes those timely defensive stops, right, is going to be the team that wins. But I do think these games are going to be closer throughout this series. I do think the games are going to be closer throughout this series, but value wise, there's not a lot of value on the Spurs, right? Me telling you to go Spurs, at -218 isn't, isn't the sexiest bet, right? We got it at -175 in the first game, right? So that was okay enough to bet. You know what I mean? But -218, the values with the Knicks coming out for win. The Spurs are, I do feel like their back is up against the wall, which is why I think they will win. But I think the Knicks cover that 6.5, right? But if you're asking me who I think will win, Spurs. You're asking me if you want to bet side, which bet would I take? I would take the Knicks with the +6.5. Give me the Knicks with the points in my back pocket. Right. Because I think even if they do lose, right, it won't be by 7. Maybe you wait to see if the line grows, and maybe you can get a 7.5 or something like that, right? When it comes to the props, man, it ain't broke. So when it comes to the props, right, it ain't broke. So we ain't gonna try to fix it. Landry Shamet, came through. He made his 6, right? I see they put his point spread up to 8 this one, right? But we're still gonna take him. His 6 points is -231, right? So we really can't even use Landry Shamet no more, right? But we're going to go back, we're going to double down with the Jalen Brunson under 3 3 pointers. Jalen Brunson made the very first shot of the game, and it was a 3 pointer. And then he didn't make another 3 pointer until the fourth quarter. He finished the game with 2 made 3 pointers, right? So it ain't broke. We ain't gonna try to fix it. We gonna stick without Jalen Brunson under 2.5 3 pointers. That'll be our first prop. Our Stephon Castle, 15 points. Stephon Castle had about 19 points, I think, 20, maybe even more than that, right? But Stephon Castle, 15 points, ain't broke, so we ain't gonna fix it. -186. So Brunson's under 3 3 pointers. Brunson, right now, what we got Brunson under 3 3 pointers again. All right, that's sitting at -165. And then we got Stephon Castle at 15 points. It's sitting at -186. And those two alone will get you to +140. Mikal Bridges sold a short last game, right? So we ain't gonna mess with Mikal Bridges. OG Anunoby is probably the spot that we should have played. You know what I mean? In the last game, because he came to play. Where is Brunson at with it? Okay, Victor Cat 15 is my one. I'm looking for the spot. We'll go I'm debating on this OG and no tell, but Castle 15, Jalen Brunson under 3 3-pointers. Think both of those are go. Matter of fact, we'll just do doubles. We'll do twos. We'll do twos. So let me put these in here. These are my favorite props. From the guy, what's good? Tequila, shout out my girl. Tequila, shout out my guy. Uh, BC. Right. So Brunson under 2.5 threes because it ain't broke. Don't fix it. Right. So Brunson under 2.5 threes, and then we're going to take Castle 15. Castle 15 points, right? And I'm gonna leave that one. That's plus 140. I'm gonna tell y'all some more, like, cause y'all know I'm gonna give y'all my chalk props too, right? I'm gonna give y'all my chalk props, give y'all 3 chalk props as well. Those are my favorite two right there. And then I say OG and the Novi, 12 points. Dylan Harper, 10 points. And we'll go Cat, 12 points. OG 12, Cat 12, Castle 15, Harper 10, Jalen Brunson under 2.5 3-pointers. All right, so let me put those in here. If you put those together, I'm not even mad at you putting out 5 of them together. I'm finna put out 5 of them together and see. But we'll go Cat 12, right? OG 12, and let me make sure that I'm not tripping. OG did finish with 10, right? And then Cat 12, OG 12, and Harper 10. Right, and those will be my throw-ins. And we got actually out of my props, I got all of my props right except one, and that was Bridges. You know what I mean? So our props actually did damn good. It was the Spurs who lost the game, right? So they messed up, the spread, the Spurs spread and the game. So that's kind of like one. It's kind of like a 2-for-1 loss, you know. But all the props actually hit, right? So I did a good job. All the props except one actually hit. So 3 out of the 4 props hit. So I did a good job of identifying the props last game. This game, we go get all these shits to hit. This game, we're gonna get all these shits to hit. Let me check OG again. Yeah, yep. So that's what we're going with. And if you just want to put those 3 together, you can. That's plus money as well. But I say, but I say we'll stick all them some bitches together. Right. And if we play them all together, I'm gonna timestamp this too. That's why I'm dropping this in the chat. Cause I'm gonna timestamp this before I get up out of here. So what I'm gonna do this time is I'm not gonna put the side picks. I'm not gonna put the side picks in with the props. Right. That's where I fucked up on the last one. Cause if I would have did, the game by itself and the props on his own, right? I still would have lost it with Bridges, but I can clearly see that it increases my greatly increases my chances, right? Greatly increases my chances. And they still got Stephon Castle, 15 priced in the ones. Jalen Brunson under 3 3-pointers, still priced in the ones, right? So we still getting our value on those. If you want to take one by itself, like I said last show, take Brunson under 3 3-pointers. That hit. You know what I mean? The only better bet than the Brunson under 3 3-pointers last week was the Knicks to win it outright. But if we put our three of them together, that'll get us to plus 400, right? So if you combine the 5 props, they get us to plus 400. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm about to do that now. When you combine the 5 props, it's plus 400. I think my dog want to go outside. Right. So if you own the Knicks, you can play the Knicks on his own. If you want to stay away from a side pick, a game pick, right, which is probably what I'm gonna do today. Not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna play those 5 props together at plus 4. Cat 12, OG 12, Harper 10, Brunson under 3 threes, and Castle 15. And Castle 15. Right. So that's how I'm gonna play it. That's what I'm gonna play. That's what I'm gonna play. That's the bet that I'm gonna play for this game, right? So I told y'all what I think gonna happen. I told you I think the Spurs have to win because you don't want to go down 0-2 going to the Knicks. That's pretty much a done series. They did look a little tired, but their backs all up against the wall, so I expect them to be extra motivated. Right? They did get up 15 at some point in that game, right? When it actually seems like before fatigue kicked in, right? They were the better team. But once Brunson got off and looked like, the game started to get deeper into it, they got a little tired, and then the Knicks ended up winning, right? So pretty much if the Spurs lose this game, it's pretty much over with for them. I ain't gonna lie to you. So they should get the win. But if you ask me, T, what what's the best bet? The value is actually on the Knicks. It's still on the Knicks in this series. They actually have made the San Antonio Spurs line almost unplayable, right? Given the fact that they just lost and you still gonna make them minus 200. You mean to tell me we can't get we can't get minus 150, even minus 165 like we had the first game or something like that on the Spurs. But Spurs sitting at minus 200, right? So you can't do a whole lot with that. Can't do a whole lot with that, right? So let me go and timestamp this at 19, and then I'm gonna do game 2 preview the first 20 minutes. And I'm gonna do the game 2 preview the first 20 minutes, right? So let me go ahead and get this loaded for timestamp purposes, right? For pin comment purposes, right? So my favorite props, we got Brunson under 3 3-pointers, right? It ain't broke. We ain't gonna fix it. We gonna take Stephon Castle, 15 points. It ain't broke. Don't fix it. You put those two together, it's plus 140. I got a few chalk props for you as well. Cat 12 points, OG 12 points, Harper 10 points. You put those three together, they get you to plus 100, right? If you take all 5 of my props, you put those together, which is exactly what I'm gonna do, right? If you combine the 5 props, that'll get you to plus 400, right? So if you don't want to necessarily pick a winner or a loser of this game, right? If you're a little afraid of the side, you know what I mean? You could go down that route. But if you're asking me who I think is going to win this game, what I think the best bet is for this game, I do like the Knicks with the plus 6.5. All right, but I do expect the Spurs to win on the money line. The under also hit for us in the last game, right? The under was under 218.5. I thought that was extremely too high, and it hit by a country mile. Now they have the over and under sitting at 214.5, right? So they came to their senses and they brought their line down. But what we're going to do, right? We're still going to take the game to go under 218 and a half, right? And when we take the game to go under 218 and a half, that brings it to minus 155, right? So it's still a pretty playable prop if you want to do that. I do think it's another defensive game and the game goes under. Again, as well. Now the Spurs took a lot of threes in the first game. They missed a lot of threes. That had something to do with fatigue, I think, right? But they're going to be playing extra motivated today. And I still, these are still one of the best. These still are two of the best defensive teams, right? So I do think that under 218 is still going to hold up. You know what I mean? I still think it's going to hold up, right? But I do got this game going. Under, we're going to continue with the first under, right? With the line we got from game one. We're going to keep that under 218 also if you don't want to necessarily have to bet a side or anything. If you don't want to have to bet a side or anything, you know what I mean? Like that, right? So we're going to go under 218 and a half. All right. If you want the 214 and a half, I ain't going to mess with it, right? If you ask me what's my favorite thing from the day though, I like, the props that I gave y'all. The side pick is getting real tricky, right? In the the NBA championship. But I did take, Spurs to win it, but I think the Knicks cover the spread. I like the under 218 more than, a winner or a loser in this game. I love those five props combined. That's my favorite bet as far as the NBA game go, right? So there you go. So for my NBA people, the NBA conversation was from, like 2 minutes until 22 minutes. That's probably what I do. 2 minutes to 22 minutes, right? The NBA conversation. Now let's scan the fights real quick. Let's scan the fight real quick. I'm gonna try to do this swiftly, right? I'm not gonna give y'all every fight pick that I like this weekend, but I'm gonna give y'all, my favorite, right, on the betting guy. This is what we're gonna use this for as the betting guy. Not gonna do this longer than we're gonna try to do this within 30 minutes. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy though. Greatly appreciate you sliding through, right? So boxing this weekend, we have a Zuffa card, right? If y'all seen my videos that I posted, I already took Jack Macy to beat I took Jack Macy to beat Chevron Clark. Jack Macy is sitting at minus 135. I feel like you can't beat that with a stick. Uh right? He's gonna have some size on Chevron Clark, right? I think he's a little bit of a better boxer. Right. Chevron Clark has a bit of gas issues, right? So I do like Jack Macy to get the win over Chevron Clark this week. I already dropped a video on there, right? So maybe you checked it out or maybe you didn't, right? But Jack Macy for the win at minus 135 is one of the better bets. All right, we go. I'm gonna jump around with this, right? I'm just giving y'all my favorite bets. Right, we're gonna go to the UFC real quick, right? We're going to take Gabriel Bonfim. Bonfim is minus money now, right? He was a slight underdog. Now he minus 108. Still a slight underdog, right? But minus money now, right? We're going to take Bonfim. He's minus 108 as well. You know what I mean? This weekend. So Jack Macy and Bonfim are two of my favorite picks for this weekend. Those two right now on the money line together will get you to plus 235, right? So you're getting good odds as far as those two picks uh so far, right? Uh another another play I like this weekend. I don't know why they haven't given me odds on Willibaldo Garcia and Andrew Maloney, but I think the fight goes the distance. I think Willibaldo should win, but I'm not overly confident. I want to take that fight to go the distance more than anything, but my book hasn't given it to me yet for whatever reason. We got Chris Bellum Smith and we got Ryan Rozicki. This one is interesting, right? I think it's a lot of variables in this fight, right? Because I think if Bellum wins it, it probably goes to a decision. If Rozicki wins it, he's probably going to stop Chris Bellum. I am thinking that Chris Bellum Smith wins it, but at minus 330. I'm not gonna go tell you to put Chris Bellum inside of your parlay, right? Josh Padley is fighting Aqib Fazeev. Tempted. I'm like, that fight should go the distance. But for some reason, man, Josh Padley, Josh Padley then made up his mind that, shit, he want to stop people. You know what I mean? As of late. Like he's made up his mind that he wants to stop people. We got Edwin Vasquez taking on Daniel Lago today, right? Edwin Vasquez is somebody that I have, I don't think I lost the bet with Edwin Vasquez yet. You know what I mean? Even on fights that he lost, I took it to go the distance, and he ended up, making it to go the distance. So Vasquez is the guy, that I like. That Texas boy, Edwin Vasquez. His line is sitting. His line is sitting around -500, right? Which is why I'm struggling with. Do I want to play it or do I don't want to play it? But I do think that he wins that fight for sure. Right? I think that he wins the fight. I think he's able to outbox you know what I mean, his opponent. Neither of these guys are, undefeated or anything. They both have they both have losses, right? You know what I mean? But the -500 line is not the sexiest, right? So I stayed away from it. I think Yabuki wins, right? But he's -1200, right? Yabuki is -1200, right? So I'm not gonna be in a rush to go tell you to, bet on Yabuki. Aaron Bowen is also in in action this weekend. Now, Aaron Bowen is a guy. Aaron Aaron Bowen is a guy that I rated pretty high. He lost a split decision to Tom Cowan, right? I was not expecting him to lose his last fight to Tom Cowan, which is why I'm a little hesitant on actually taking him. He's fighting um he's fighting Troy Coleman. Troy Coleman got stopped by Jimmy Sains. He's coming off a win over a 5-0 fighter. Bowen should beat him, right? But I'm not gonna lock him up. You know what I mean? This week I'm just going through the boxing fights, right? But mostly, and then we got Josh Padley versus Aqib Fayev Ramirez. What I said was right. If Ramirez blew my favorite bet this week, I was gonna have to, add Josh Padley to the parlay, right? Padley beat Reese Balali. I ain't gonna lie, I was impressed with that. He's fighting Aqib Fayev, Fayev, who is not. He lost to Reese Bellotti, right? Got stopped by Reese Bellotti. So if you do math, right, you do the triangle theory, right, then Josh Palin should be able to beat Fayez, right? Fayez actually got stopped by Reese Bellotti, right? So Josh Palin actually should win this. Josh Palin actually should win this. We gonna put matter of fact, we'll put Josh Palin. I think that fight. I kind of think the fight goes the distance, but Fayez did get stopped. You know what I mean by Reese Bellotti. But we want to go Josh Padley for the win as well. Now his line is -350, right? Josh Padley's line is -350, so it's not the sexiest line. You know what I mean? But we are gonna go ahead and we gonna drop that. I do like Josh Padley for the win as well. We may have to extend this to 35 minutes. But I also like Josh Padley for the win as well. As a nice little parlay piece. Okay, now I got some MMA chalk for y'all as well. I got some MMA chalk for y'all as well as I'm not as I give y'all my picks on the betting guy, right? So we're going to go Styles and I'm going to go Stouser. We're going to go Stouser, Chavez, McGee, right? That gets you to plus 100 right now. I already told you Bonfim, right? I'm let you know that this is UFC. Bonfim is UFC too, right? But I only did one. Yes, sir. There you go, Boxing Wiz. That's the move. That's the move, Boxing Wiz. There you go. There you go. Bet it. Sound like a good bet to me, my guy. Shout out my guy, Boxing Wiz. We want to go Styles. I'm gonna give y'all three, and it's two women, by the way. So if you don't bet women's UFC, this parlay gonna make you throw up because it's two women on here, right? So I'm gonna give y'all three chop picks, two for UFC minus 300, minus 300, minus 500, but it'll get you the plus 102. So that's just some chalk that I like with UFC as well. We working on the fight portion of this weekend, right? I'm gonna be real with you, and that's what I like most for this weekend, y'all. From being real with y'all, like I'm not stretching nothing. I'm not just adding stuff to be added. Now I am going to make more bets, right? I'm going to make more bets for sure. I'm going to make more bets for sure, right? But this is what I feel, the best about, right? It's playable as far as the prices and so how many that is? That's it. Well, one, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, so six picks. They got six picks that I like. For the weekend. I like other I like other fighters to win as well, and then we'll do the fight picks from 22 until shit. I'll let it go to 30, 33 or 35. We'll do 33. We'll do 33. Right, we'll do 33 minutes on this jump. But yeah, right. So let me get y'all the pick rundown. We gonna start the pick rundown at 33 for everything. Right. So I'm gonna give y'all the rundown real quick, man. I got Knicks plus 6.5, but I do think the Spurs win on the money line, whichever one you want to take as far as the value go. My favorite props, I got Brunson under 2.5 threes and Castle 15 points. That's plus 140. You put those together, those my favorite two. I got some chalk props for y'all too. Cat 12 points, OG 12 points, Harper 10 points. Put those three together, that's plus 100. If you put all five of my props together, that'd be plus 400. Right. Moving right along. Oh yeah, I also like the under 218 alternate in the NBA game. Moving right along to the fight weekend, right? We got Jack Massey on the money line. We got Padley on the money line for boxing, UFC, Gabriel Bonfim on the money line. And then we got Stouser, Chavez, and McGee on the money line, right? Stouser, Chavez, McGee together is plus 102. Bonfim is minus 108, right? Do with that as you may. But that's all I got for y'all, man. That's how I'm rocking this weekend. I am about to put this in right now. You know me, I'm gonna put all six of them together, right? As far as the fights, I'm gonna put my five props together, right? As far as the game, and we go make it do what it do. I may throw that under in there with those props too. But everything that you see on here, right, is something that I will bet, something that I'm not against betting. I am going to parlay up my fight picks, right? I'm most definitely gonna put those five props together, man. That's how I'm gonna rock it as far as today and the weekend. If anything else comes, I'm gonna be live, for the fight cards and whatnot. I should be, right? Live for the fight cards and whatnot. So y'all come through here and we will make us some money live, right? But this is what I'm thinking, man. This is my best betting guide that I could give y'all. I feel like these all are going to be his. Ramirez KO missed last night. He did win the fight, but he probably kind of lost the fight. You know what I mean? So the KO did miss last night, right? So we got to get that thing back in blood. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this John Skin Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rock it. And I'm out. Love.